good one was the Rams and the Seahawks. And
it was a really good one. Not if you're a Seahawks fan. Not if you picked the Seahawks to win this game. And not if you had the Seahawks in your goddamn accumulator. Fucking idiots. Oh, yeah, the Seahawks look like they're going to ride the show. What did I fucking say? DK Metcalf, right? He's Robocop. He'll fucking slaughter him. It doesn't matter how bad the Seahawks play. DK Metcalf will get his. Oh, he got his all right, didn't he? Thank you very much, DK Metcalf. 2 receptions for 28 yards. And this shithouse over here was like, Jalen Ramsey's going to lock him up. Now, before you start masturbating furiously, because I know you've been waiting for this, he had 4 carries the whole game. So you were half correct. I'll give you that. Jalen Ramsey shut him down. But he never threw the ball to him. Russell Wilson knew that, and he rarely threw the ball to him. And that was probably the big... Why did you not, for the love of Christ, switch DK Metcalf to the other side? And also, I said, if DK Metcalf doesn't go off, Tyler Lockett certainly will. Yeah. Yeah. However, there's one thing I've said on this podcast, and nobody's really paid attention to it, because even I've been quite quiet about it, and that is that the Rams have one of the most elite defenses in the league. And again, the Rams, I said, the Rams and the Colts, right, do what the Bears do, but much better. And we're seeing that. I tell you what, this Rams team is clicking at the right time. Just at the right time. And they remind me a little bit of when the Giants went all the way. Because at the beginning of the season, like, Rams all right, nothing special. They'll be all right. Oh, they won't get past Seattle, or they won't get past Arizona. And now you're thinking, they might end up, this could be, like I say, I think this is the most competitive division in the entire league. And I think that when it comes down, I can actually, if Seattle can just about, wake themselves up, because I'll tell you one thing, their defense is shit. That's a bad day. That's a bad day. I'm disappointed. Their defense has just fallen off a cliff. Like I said, it hasn't ever been like the Legion of Boom, but I'll tell you what, it's getting worse and worse. They ship more points than anyone else. That's just terrifying. That's not Seattle that I know. And when Russell Wilson, he's starting to have problems, starting to throw picks. He's running for his life a little bit. His offensive line has let him down actually quite a bit. I mean, the Rams are a premium rushing team. They're a premier rushing team. And they've got
for Christ's sake.
Yeah, who is quite literally, he is like the DK Metcalf of defense. He's fucking terrifying. He's unstoppable, that guy. Easily.
He is a bull in a china shop.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. And for my money, he's Defensive Player of the Year.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Other than the mighty Bradley Chubb.
There's one other guy that I would say might be Defensive Player of the Year, and that's TJ Watt.
Yeah, well, you would say that, wouldn't you? But TJ Watt's got a lot of pieces around him at the end of the day. I mean, but this Rams defense is legit, man. You know, they stuffed them. They made Seattle look poor. They look really fucking poor, Seattle.
I'm looking at the Rams schedule. They did lose Andrew Whitworth, who is one of their star left tackles. He's gone for 6 to 8 weeks. So he'll be back for the playoffs. But,
if they get in, which they should do. They're currently 6-3, as are Seattle.
The Rams have Tampa next on Monday night. Then they have San Francisco. Then they get Arizona. Then they get New England. Then they get the Jets. Then they have Seattle again, and then they have Arizona to end the season. So they still have to play Arizona twice.
Yeah, they're going to be hoping that Arizona have it wrapped up before they play them in the last game. That will give them an advantage, I think. But if one team can really get to Murray, it will be the Rams, I think. I think the Rams always play everyone hard anyway. They had a decent, because they came off of a Super Bowl season, right, last year. Because the year before last, obviously, they were in the Super Bowl. And then the following season, everyone sort of thought, they've done what everyone does. They've dropped off, but they still had a good season last season.
Yeah, they had a good season, but...
And they've rectified things and fixed things quite a lot. And they've made themselves far more aggressive. State of that cup that you drank off. Fucking Yanks, honestly. Jeez. Is that the Joe Biden Cup?
No, it's not a Joe Biden Cup. It's a America Cup. If I can fucking...
America, fuck yeah.
yeah.
Coming again to rig another election time. Dear, oh dear. I won. I won. It doesn't matter. I mean, if you're Donald Trump this way, you're like, no, Seattle won this game. Seattle won because all of their points were legal. That's right. Seattle Seahawks won this game. They won it well. They've got. I tell you what, Russell Wilson, he's got big hands, okay, and he won the game. It doesn't matter what the score says because I won the game. Dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I'll tell you what, I'm starting to worry about the Seahawks a little bit. I am. I love Russell Wilson, and they've got crazy good weapons when they go off. But I'll tell you what, I saw their heads drop this week, and they didn't rise up to it. And one of the big things, because they've got one of the best quarterbacks, I think Russell Wilson is elite. I really do.
Absolutely.
You know what? 3 or 4 weeks ago, they were 6-1, and we were laughing all the way to the bank. Now all of a sudden, they're 6-3, and you're thinking, you know what, Pete? You got some work to do, mate. And you just picked up a whopper contract as well, and an extension. You got some work to do, sunshine. You know. And I tell you what, when it comes to they better start drafting some defensive players again. Because that defense is on its last legs. It's looking wilted, mate. It really is. It's a bit of a disappointment. Like I say, you know, when you have a defense that elite, like you did with the Legion of Boom, the salary cap simply cannot afford to cover all of that. And that's what happened with Denver. And now you're starting to see that with Seattle. The difference is Seattle, they had their franchise quarterback. You know, after their Super Bowl victories and whatnot, and getting to the Super Bowl, you know, even though they kind of, you know, they lost that game, didn't they, to the Patriots, where they, you know, Malcolm Butler, and they should have fucking ran the ball, you know, they should have fucking ran it down their throats. But at the end of the day, they knew that they were still going to get maybe 10, 15 years of productivity from their quarterback alone, who is fantastic, and they've got some weapons around him. But their defense, you know, and we've seen what happens with Denver. They've got no defense, and they didn't lock up anything on offense, and now they're just a miserable franchise. And Seattle, if they didn't have Russell Wilson, and they hadn't made, and that's down to Pete Carroll and the general manager as well. You know, they've done well. So, I mean, we're whinging about them being 6-3. So, you know, but over here, there's a slang term, 6-3. You know, my mum used to always say this to me when I wound her up as a little kid. She went, "I'm just about, you know what? I'm a bit 6-3 with you at the moment," and that basically is a slang term for pissed off. So, you know, I mean, ultimately, I'd be pretty pissed off right now if I was a Seahawks fan, because you don't mind losing, but when you're losing and you're not showing up and you're not showing that much heart, which is I have to criticise them for in this game, that can really irk you as a fan. So, yeah. It's a work to be done, Seattle, but you got a tough schedule. And that toughest division in the league.
Next